Good evening, everyone. We said we'd be back, so we're back. Welcome to the RBN YouTube channel again. Got Kingsley with me again. You're welcome back, Kingsley. Post-match analysis, North London Derby, September 2021. You go first, brother.
Mate, it's a good day. What do we think of Spurs? That's the day. You know what? From the first minute on it, pressing, high intensity, quick touches. There was no dwelling on the balls. Quick, it was fluid. I've never seen his attacks so fluidly in the first 20 minutes. It was lovely to watch.
Can I just raise my finger up? I know I'm not a Pepe hater. I just don't think in our current squad he makes the first 11 with everyone fit. And that's one thing I've always liked about Arteta. You know, you could almost say, apart from Xhaka, and fair enough, Xhaka's a pro. It's not like he's a bad player, but I understand why he plays him ahead of AZ Maitland-Niles or Lokonga, or decides to not go 4-3-3 again and bring in someone, drop Smith Rowe back into the midfield, maybe put a Martinelli, or it would have been a Pepe. But Pepe slows down our game. I think he slows down the game a lot. I think if he plays on the right or down the middle, he doesn't have time to dwell because he has to be direct. And I think that's why we saw what we saw today. Because let's be honest, like when Pepe plays, to be fair to the Arsenal team, they give him the ball. They give him a chance. And he often can slow us down. So that's a big shot that you went on that quickness. You had quick thinking people today. That when Laka was quick.
Especially Odegaard.
Odegaard. He's always quick. He's never dwelling on the ball. He's like, he's always thinking 2 steps ahead, works hard. Always him and Smith, they're always thinking 2 steps ahead. So that was big. Please carry on before I stop you. Go on.
Yeah, I was saying, and it was good to see. I know Saka's had a bit of a tough time recently.
Yeah.
So it's good to see him getting a goal and assist. I think he played very well. He was kept driving at him, putting him on the back foot. Him, Smith Rowe, and Odegaard, mate.
Him back on the right was great as well. We all know that's a beautiful position. Not because he can come on in his left, but he can also go on the right and cross as well. He scored on his right today. So
mate, he scored on exactly. And the way he drives with the ball from the right side, defenders can't handle it because his body faints and the way he drives, you can't anticipate where he's going. That's why it's so easy to just drive forward. I think today, Tomiyasu, absolute beast, class. He was winning in headers in important places. He was driving them on, kept Son quiet. I think he only allowed Son to get past him once in that game.
Oh, my goodness.
And he still recovered.
Like, maybe that Asian rivalry was going on there as well.
Mate, he made Son look like Willian.
Oh, my gosh. Apart from the one goal that Son got, though. But then Son wasn't really in his zone when he got that. It was more the middle and it was more... we can't really say Ben White's side because let's be honest, you can't blame the defenders for wanting to go and cover the goal and not stepping out because if you step out, the striker runs beyond you. We as coaches know that there's always going to be those 1 or 2 times where the offense gets at you and you're just hoping your keeper does what he does. It's rare that in a whole game, an attacking players won't get the better of you at least once because the game's set up that way. You know,
to be fair, Harry Kane could have had 2 or 3 himself. We was very fortunate for him to be off his game today because he could have taken it up.
But I do think that if he had scored one of his first, like after they scored their goal, we tightened up. I think that would have woken us up because I think we were so screwed on today in terms of we responded. Yes, you know, what's his name had the shot that Ramsdale saved after 3-1, and that's Lucas, that's always going to happen, especially in the 82nd minute. You know when a team gets a goal like an 82nd minute, there's that drive. But I think if one of Hurricanes' goals was going earlier, I see us, you know, going and crossing again and scoring another one because games change goals, and I think that I reckon that they just had that mind today to get the business done. Because for me, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, if this was after say the Chelsea or the City game, Arsenal don't score that 3rd goal, whereas they kept on hunting. They kept on going. Now, the next level what Arsenal need is replicate what they did in the first half for either 70 minutes or 80 minutes. Because they have the ability to do it in a half. It's about doing that in every half. And that's where the questions are. And that's why I know we're going to have, unfortunately, Brentford-like days again. There's going to be at least another 1 or 2 games like that. I mean, I hope not, but you just have to look at the trajectory.
That mentality we had today is how we should go into every game, no matter what opponent we're playing, and we make that our culture.
100%. And you know that's what the manager's been trying to do. That's the only reason I've defended him, because from Emery to Ljungberg to Arteta, I've not seen any of these three managers do what Arteta's tried to do. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the personnel to do it every week, every game, week in, week out, which is why people have said, you ain't got the players for this. Why are you trying to make them play that way? At the end of the day, like you were saying on our last podcast, you got to trust the process. What's a manager going to do? If he's trying to prove to his bosses and say that, look, this is the football we can play, so I want better players for this, you're going to keep on trying to do that. You're going to live or die by that sword. And that's why I said to him, look, as a fellow coach, at a lower level, that's what I'll do. I would rather go out trying to do the philosophy I'm trying to do, than rather than say, oh, you know what, let's always make it a 3-4-3 or a 4-2-3 that's negative. I mean, he's solving the creative issue now. On the right, there's creativity from Saka. In the middle, there's creativity from Odegaard. From the left, there's creativity from Smith Rowe, and he doesn't stay hugging the touchline. He comes into the middle and the play as well. And then Tierney can overlap and do stuff. We saw Tomiyasu. He's still yet to come and join the creative process. And you're going to see that. We saw bits of that today. And I'm just surprised no one in Europe found that guy yet. Because I'm going to be honest,
apparently, Tottenham were actually trying to get him. And then at the last minute, they changed their mind and went for the Emerson guy.
I'm glad they did, man, because
I'm glad they did.
Whenever a top team gets rid of a player, just imagine, like, Barcelona have let Firpo go. Firpo's gone to where? Leeds, is it?
Leeds. He's doing all right.
Semedo go. He's gone to what? Wolves. Emerson's now gone to Spurs. They were trying to get rid of Dest, and I'm kind of glad we didn't get Dest, because as promising as he is, I think we definitely needed the profile of a Tomiyasu, someone who's big on defending, and who has height. Because if we had got Aarons or Dest, as good as those two are, they're young. They would have been great going forward. And in the team that we've got,
to be fair, Tomiyasu is young himself as well. He's only
20. I know he's young. I'm just saying, like, his height and the fact that he likes to defend as a right back. Apart from Wan-Bissaka, the modern day right backs, what do? They like going forward. I mean, Joshua Kimmich, who was a right back, has played himself into being a great midfielder now, because he wants to be involved in the forwardness of the play rather than the defensive part. It's rare to find a right back that wants to defend.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Modern day football, and I don't care what people say. You need your right back to both defend.
Of course. Your fullbacks have to be.
Your fullbacks have to be able to defend. I mean, Trent, just to go on a digression, great. Like, probably will be soon, if he improves his defensiveness a little bit, the best right back in the world, if not one of the best. But until he sorts that out, his future, if he ain't careful, might be going into midfield, because you're gonna get found out. There's teams who's always gonna put it on you. Like yesterday's game, like they did. But anyway, we're talking Arsenal Spurs today, so let's not go off too much. Yeah, I think the starting lineup was on point, was right. I want to see not only just games like that, because we know Xhaka can have the odd good game, but again, we saw what he did to Emerson Royale. Was it Taganga, where he goes and just pulls him, just stuff like that's not needed.
He's looking to be on the pitch.
Yellow,
when he was on the yellow, he was still making reckless decisions.
Did he actually get a yellow for that?
He got a yellow in the game for a challenge on Højbjerg, and then he's still acting reckless in the rest of the game. He's still pulling down players and knocking players over. I'm thinking, you're on thin ice. You just came back from a red card. You think you'd just be a bit more wary. For me,
was that a knock that he got when he went off?
That knock that he got. What about it?
Because Xhaka went off.
When he was slipping off, when the way Lucas fell into him, it looked like he kind of like twisted his knee.
I don't wish no injuries on none of the players, because you want them fit. But sometimes a little injury gives that other person that you think has.
I want to see Partey and Lokonga. I would at halftime, once it's 3-0, because at halftime Xhaka was on the yellow card. For me, I'm taking him off halftime, 3-0 game, put Lokonga on.
Yeah, it might just be too early, and obviously Xhaka's someone he looks.
I know, but when he's on a yellow card, you know what Xhaka's like. I would have not told
100%. Because it's Xhaka, I can give you that, but because I know how Arteta thinks, and like every managers are stubborn, especially the pros. We've seen it with Pep, we've seen it with Tuchel, we've seen it with Klopp. All of them, they live and die by what they want to do. I can almost predict. It's like how Arshavin used to say that he could always predict he would come off at the 67th minute all the time. And then we find out later, years down the line, is that they had to pay some of these players bonuses if they stayed past certain minutes. Wenger's a serious guy, you know. Oh my goodness. Taking players off so that they don't have to pay them the bonuses. Why do you think they gave him so much control in the club? Please go and check that fact that I just said to you. Go and check it.
Oh my days.
Check that, because it now makes sense. I'm thinking Arshavin's having a bad boy game today. Still comes off on like that 65th or something. And Wenger's not even hiding it. Doesn't even try to style it with 61 here, 65 here, 67.
Man calculated it perfectly.
And that's why, you know, like your feels that certain players that you could get off on that you knew, okay, we can kind of do without this person. They kept coming off and then 60 odd minutes. But yeah, I would like to see, you know what? Fair play to Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Arteta that they sorted out whatever was supposedly the disagreement. I think he has a great chance to play himself into the picture. Not only just as a utility player, but in his favoured midfield role. I think that Lokonga will get his run of games this year and will play certain games and stuff. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles, if the manager wants to go back to 4-2-3-1, has the great ability to get to that because of the young guys. I'm so glad I saw Martinelli on the bench and not Nketiah. Not because I don't like Nketiah, because he did all right on Wednesday and scored a goal. But I just think that when you look at a product and a prospect, I think Martinelli and Balogun, they look like the next set of people to come in and do what Saka and ESR are doing. You know, we know it's only injury that's made Martinelli have to take a step back.
Yeah.
What he did in those 4 runner games from Boxing Day last year, he was a big part of where Arsenal are today. I looked at a stat on Sky Sports. Do you know that there's only 4 teams who have a better win record in 2021 in the Premier League than Arsenal? And when you look at where they are today, and let's not do that Spurs thing whereby they calculate the calendar year, because you know it's not about calendar year. But the reason I mentioned Arsenal stat is that, in fact, let me actually read this stat to you so you know what I'm talking about. It's a very, 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 very interesting stat because it kind of paints to me the picture of what's going on, what's been built by the coach, and why, as you said, you know what, you have to try and trust the process, because if you don't, you could just end up doing a whole load of stuff and missing out on what could be built and what could be done. So here it goes. Give me a moment. I did see this here. Yeah, here it is. So, apparently, check this out. This is the Opta stat, 600 up. So, Arsenal recorded their 600th Premier League win, just the 3rd side to reach the total after Chelsea, who have 601, Manchester United have 691. Now, think about it. In the last 5 years, if you include Arteta's about to be 2 seasons, if you include Emery's season, Wenger's dark last 2 years, from the place they've fallen, Chelsea have only just gone ahead of them. 601. United, a mammoth 691 games won. Just imagine, like, Arsenal wrapped up some wins in this league. Like, this recent, like, just bad form and everything. And I'm sure City are probably coming up soon. And probably Liverpool too, with getting up to 600. You could actually see that, you know, their longevity and what they did in terms of winning. Obviously, you got to count trophies. They ain't got as much Premier League trophies as City and Chelsea. Just to name those, it's about the trophies, not necessarily just about the wins. But it just gives you an idea as to how they can move on. So going on to this, Arsenal won 15 of their 28 Premier League matches in 2021. That's not the stat that really impresses me because, you know, that's calendar year. But hear this, Kingsley. Throughout 2020, they won 15 out of their 34 games. In 2019, they won 15 out of their 38 games. Arteta's first season, or so, like first season and a half, was in between 2019 and 2020. So 2020, they won 15 out of 34. 2019, they won 15 out of 38. The last winning last time they won more in the calendar year was 2018. That was when Wenger left in 2018 summer. And who comes in? Emery. So if they win 5 more games between October, November, and December, that's 3 months. They beat that. So I'm ultimately saying that, look, there's somewhere this guy is going. Last year they had the 3rd best defense. Was the 4th best defense?
Yeah, 3rd. Yeah,
third. After the horrid 8-game losing streak and whatever. And I was telling people that they've been losing, but they weren't getting battered like 4
we weren't getting battered.
and stuff. This City lost 5-0 this season was only really because they were down to 10 men, and this is City, and we know what City can do at the Etihad and how things just go a certain way. So we know they're not there yet. Definitely on the finished article, but there was always progress, and now winning 3 games on the bounce gives them impetus. Then White's going back to Brighton. He's going to want to show up well this Saturday, so they can build on something.
You know, the best thing about this win as well, in table-wise, is the fact that even after Tottenham's excellent start, we're now above them in the league.
Yeah, even though it's by a goal difference. Look, actually, no, it's actually by the fact that Arsenal's A and Tottenham's T, because they have the similar goal difference now. If not for that goal that they scored, our goal difference would have been better.
No, I think it's and we've scored more goals though as well.
And we scored more goals, yeah. So there's that.
After that start we've had.
Yeah, that's how things are getting. But if Arsenal's not careful, like how Gary Neville said something today, 3 years ago or 4 years ago, Dele Alli was the youngster doing really well, and now Saka and ESR doing really well. Like if they don't watch it, that could easily be them if they don't keep on their P's and Q's. But I think they play different positions. They're involved. They're different type of ballers. Of course, they can lose form or whatever, but I just think they're different kind of ballers. Whereas Dele Alli was always, like your Lamps type guy, or the early Gerrard who just arrived in the box before Gerrard started adding other things to his game, or showing us other things from his game, should I say? Because
I think Dele Alli won't increase any more at Spurs. You'll have to go.
Yeah, he'll have to go somewhere. Yeah, he's gonna have to go somewhere. But then the thing is, how does he get another move? Because once you don't make it at certain clubs, that's it for you. Yeah, that's it for you. Especially if you're English. There's not many people that take a chance on English players that are not doing well at the club. Like look at Joe Hart. Torino took him that season because they probably didn't have any other keeper. They thought, you know what, he's the England #1. Let's go for him. He couldn't even make it stick there. And now Joe Hart. Who does Joe Hart play for them? You know?
Tottenham, is their 3rd goalkeeper?
No. Is he still at Tottenham?
I'm sure he is.
If he's at Tottenham, he's their 3rd keeper. Can you imagine that? Being Man City's 1st choice keeper to Tottenham's 3rd choice keeper. That's
because Joe Hart was never good on the ball there, man. Guardiola was the goalkeeper who could use his feet.
On the ball or not, but surely there should be another keeper in the league who's thinking, you know what, you might not be good on the ball, but we can take a chance on you.
Funny stat about Spurs. Their last 3 games in the league that they played, all against the London teams, they've all lost 3-0.
Not lost 3-0, they've all conceded 3. We let them have a go. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy we let them score today, but
it would have been nice because Ramsdale for me does not lose his place now.
No.
His distribution today was just breathtaking.
Oh my goodness!
Even had me fooled with some of the fake shots.
Oh my goodness! And like every keeper needs, or the best of them, especially when you look at your Kasper Schmeichels, your Peter Schmeichels. I think Kasper Schmeichel was quite underrated, maybe because his dad played for United and he was so great, and he's playing in the time and whereby he's playing for Leicester. I think he's quite underrated. I actually do, not only just because of their title winning season. I think since their title winning season, he has been super consistent.
Yeah, that's true. You never hear about him making mistakes.
You never hear. Yeah, obviously we know the British press are going to concentrate on some certain players, and as they should. This is Britain. You got to go and back the players. For example, today, do you think Partey had a better game than Xhaka? I think he did.
Oh, but Partey was always in the right place. He was just controlling the.
But look at Sky. Look at Sky's ratings. Sky have given Xhaka a greater rating than Partey.
Crazy. Xhaka for me gets a 6.
They gave him an 8. Partey got a 7.
So we'll do play ratings in a bit. Actually, I want to hear what you think.
But, so don't get me wrong. I don't think like Xhaka had a bad game or anything, but you can clearly see that. Sometimes I was wondering whether Xhaka was always there because Partey was covering so much ground. Like I can actually see Partey working as the only midfielder base with a hard-working Odegaard and Smith Rowe next to him now, because those guys will work hard. They won't just leave him to do all the defensive job by himself. And as he steps in and recovers, they'll be near him to pick up the ball. And if it doesn't get to them, I don't see them just standing there and thinking, the ball didn't come. They'll run back. Yeah. And I think that's why Arteta is now changing that. And for me, when he's ready, that gives room for Martinelli, whether as the 9 or is coming in from the left, to take his spot back. Because for me, ultimately, if we're looking to have goal threats from all over the pitch and creativity, we need more of those guys on there. When you look at City's team, when you look at Chelsea's team, Liverpool's team, you've just got so much of a threat from your front 6 players, and you need that. You need that threat from your front 6 players. This whole holding midfielder sitting there, for me, when you look at it, it's always kind of been a myth, because a midfielder is meant to be a box-to-box player. That's why it's midfield, because you're meant to be able to defend, come back and help. You're meant to be able to go up with the forward to support the attack. It's only the 4-3-3 days or Makelele never crossing the halfway line that made a lot of people think, because Kante is a box-to-box. You know what I'm saying? Like Gerrard was box-to-box, Vieira, Keane was box-to-box. All the best midfielders have always been able to do it in, both boxes. And I think that's the beauty and that needs in the game. But yeah, my last thing on today as well, as we mentioned, Owen worked really hard. He put a shift in, he didn't look tired, he was there. And I think it's because he's got that energy from the rest. The only thing I think he put a foot wrong is in his control. Maybe he could have gone to control it with
Partey.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know how he managed to get so much power.
No. You know what? Partey has that in his locker. Now that he's fit.
Disgusting, man.
Now that he's fit and he's not rushing anything, he's looking like the player we bought, because he's done this 3 games in a row now. You know what I'm saying? So, and interestingly enough, like his last game there, he got injured at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah,
he actually had a good game that day. Yeah. He actually had a good game that day before he got injured.
Yeah, he did.
And like the masterclass against United at Old Trafford as well. Like, we'll never forget that. So, and those were like his first 3 games before the guy got injured. You know what I'm saying? So, and then obviously came back. So, if he stays injury free, I can see it. There's a lot of promise. There will be hairy days. And I want to make that clear.
We're gonna face in January when the
African
Cup of Nations happens.
Oh yeah, but then you know what? You've got what's his name, and the good thing is that unlike other tournaments, when he comes back, and Ghana will probably be sent home early, hopefully. Not just because I'm Nigerian, but I think they will. I don't think they have that team like that anymore. We won't lose him hopefully for too long, and we've got Sambi, we've got Ainsley that can step in for him. There's a lot that they can do. So there's time to enjoy him while he's around.
Of course. Are you concerned about obviously African Cup of Nations? Are you concerned about Aubameyang not being there?
I am concerned, but I think Laka will step up, because even though Laka hasn't signed the contract yet, he may still sign the year extension. I think that's the most they'll give him. I can't see them giving him 2. I think he'll step up. And if Laka doesn't step up, I think between Martinelli and I think Martinelli will. I think there's enough competition to replace him. And like Partey, I don't see Gabon going so far either as well.
Yeah,
so,
Gabon won't get too far.
Yeah, we won't miss those guys too long. And I think they're our main 2, aren't they? Yeah, they are main 2. So yeah.
There definitely isn't really anyone else that really gets into the squad.
I'm just happy that Liverpool will lose Mane and Salah.
Their team
will go far.
And Egypt can do alright.
Yeah, Egypt will do all right. So will Senegal. So yeah, but that's for a while to come. You need a squad. You need a squad. So maybe it'll be good for the squad to see some of the big boys go for a couple games. Not because it's a good thing, because you don't want to lose the best players. And FIFA do need to think long and hard about sustaining this whole African Cup of Nations during January, because it really does hurt. I mean, they changed it one year. I don't know why they changed it back. I don't know why they changed it back.
It's too dangerous, man.
Yeah.
Especially, so I was going to say, especially with Premier League, because they're going to play loads of games in December.
They will do. They will do. So just a quick word on Tottenham on the opponents today. I mean, I don't think it's because they played bad alone. I think the way Arsenal played affected them too. And I always like to say this whenever teams play a certain way, because, for example, we know Arsenal weren't great against Chelsea and City, but it's always about how well they played. But today, I'm still hearing, oh, Tottenham were really, really awful. Yes, they might not have been as great as they could, and their big players didn't turn up, but I think what the other team did to them matters as well.
I don't mean to be a Scrooge.
Every combat sport.
I don't mean to be a Scrooge, but yeah, it was a good win for us. However, there were still moments in the game, as I said. Any other game, Kane's putting those chances away.
You're putting them chances away, yeah.
Really different game. I feel like in the second half we got tired, or we just settled for the score, which I don't like to see.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Other teams would have pushed on, and that was what they needed to do, and that's where they're gonna need to improve. Because like a Brentford or someone else like that who are coming back at teams, and like your Brighton, you go 3-0 up against Brighton, you sit back, they might come onto you. You can see that happening. Yeah,
definitely to see changes there, but you know what? 3-1 win, 3 games in a row. I'm not gonna be too critical.
Yeah, we're not being critical, definitely. Yeah, all good stuff. All good stuff. So looking ahead to Brighton on Saturday, what are your predictions?
We don't usually struggle to Brighton, because the reason why Brighton are not that physical, Brighton like to play football. Potter likes to set them up possession wise, and I think we'll outplay them. Going into the next game, I think the confidence will be up, and I reckon we'll win 2-0. I reckon it'll be
I'm going to say by 2 goals as well.
Yeah,
I'd like to think that clean sheet will be there for 2-0, but like you said, there is that often chance to give certain chances away. That can happen. Yeah, plus we may be facing Welbeck, a former player. So former players do like to score against Arsenal.
Yeah, Welbeck is something. I fancy Welbeck scoring again.
Oh, you say that now, man. Say that now, but let's see. Yeah, I'll go for 2 goal difference too. So thank you so much, Kingsley, for joining us tonight. Thanks for watching RBN YouTube channel, everyone. All things Arsenal. Please like, share, and subscribe. Make some comments. Thanks to those who have been making the comments on the previous broadcast. And we will see you guys on Saturday. Thanks again. Bye-bye now.